Great, you now know about numbers and you know how to perform mathematical operations with numbers and with the different types of numbers. In this lecture you'll learn about strings. And you'll probably use strings more than numbers in Python. You know, if you're dealing with any text of any kind, that text is gonna be in the form of a string. But basically the definition of a string is that everything that is inside quotes is a string. So a string is a group of characters, and it can be any type of character. So in this example we had letters and we had numbers, and all that is a string. You can also use a single quote to write a string, just like this. And you can check the type of a string. So it's a string data type. Even numbers can be treated as strings if you pass them through quotes. So type 7, and it's a string. Sometimes you may be working with some input with some numbers, but they are coming as a string data type, and you want them to be treated as integers, because you cannot do a mathematical operation with 7, let's say plus 1. You'll get an error saying that Python is trying to convert the number 1 to a string, because you could do 7 plus 1 if 1 was a string, then you get 71. So when you use a plus sign with strings, that is a concatenation, so it's not an addition. But you can convert a string if it has a number inside to an integer, just like this. And then you can do a mathematical operation, like this. Now let's talk about the structure of a string. Now numbers are simple, but strings have a more complex structure in that when you have a string, in the background Python assigns an index number to each element of string. This string has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. And Python will assign an index of 0 to letter F, an index of 1 to R, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'd ask, why do we need an indexing? Well, you need an indexing if you want to split a string. Let's say this string would be today is Friday. And let me store it in a variable day. Now if you want to extract the Friday word only, you could use indexing. And the way you do it is by using the square brackets, just like this. And then here you'd pass the range where the letters Friday belong in the string. So in this case we would have, this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we would start at index 9. Then we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's 9 and use a colon. So letter Y had an index of 14, but we need to pass 15 here if we want to include Y in the split. Because splitting is upper bound exclusive. So it doesn't include the upper bound. It doesn't include the letter Y in the split. So we have to pass the number after the letter Y. And you get Friday. Now, one great thing of Python is that there is almost always a way to make things quicker and easier. In this case, for example, we wanted to extract everything after the letter F, so everything after index 9. In that case, we wouldn't have to know the upper bound limit. We can just pass 9 colon and nothing after that. And we will get Friday. So Python knows that if you don't pass anything after the colon, it will extract everything left. In a similar fashion, you could extract the today part. So day, square brackets, and then you wouldn't pass anything before the colon because you want everything before the colon. You could pass 0 if you want, but this is quicker. And so Y has an index of 4 and we want to pass 5 here. And we get today. Great. When we extracted Friday, we had to count from 0 up to 9. That was not very pleasant, and for that reason Python supports negative indexing as well, along with positive indexing. That means every item of the string also has a negative indexing, which starts from -1 here, and it goes -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So let's try to extract the word Friday again. We would start from -6. So we always start from left to right. And then we could pass -1, but you don't get the exact results that you want. Because as I said, splitting is upper bound exclusive. So it doesn't include the upper bound. In that case, we would pass nothing here. And we would get everything after -6. You can also apply a few math operations to strings. So let's say you have these 3 variables. Today is and Friday. If you want to join these 3 strings, you'd say 1 plus B plus C. And you say you have today's Friday. Now if you wanted the spaces there, you'd have to add some space. Just like this, plus B plus space plus C. That's about it, I guess. You can also multiply strings. Let's say A times 3, and you get today. So now you should have a clear idea of what strings are, and you know what you can apply to them. We'll have more about strings later on, but for now, this should be more than enough for you to know. Talk to you in the next lecture.